Some of you have had the opportunity to practice close reading in other English courses, or at the very least, you've done it in high school. But at the risk of boring you with what might seem to be an elementary assignment, I'm going to make you do it one more time. I will, however, throw in a twist, and we'll get to that later. Your assignment is to take two of the poems assigned for this week and to write one paragraph about each of them. Just to be clear, the assignment is a total of 2 paragraphs, one paragraph about one poem and another paragraph about an entirely different poem, and you don't need to try and make a connection between these 2 paragraphs. You're just doing the same exercise and doing it twice. These paragraphs will be close readings, and here's what that means. You're going to examine one line or one sentence from the poem, and you're going to show your reader something that's not entirely obvious at first glance, something that's open to interpretation about that word or that paragraph. Think of close reading as the chance to devote an entire paragraph to the description of your own interpretation of a word or of a line. It's your job to show your reader what you want them to see. Now, there's many ways to do this, and there's no such thing as a standard close reading. But in this first assignment, here's the structure I'd like you to follow. Make a bold statement about the text. This should be specific to the text you're addressing. Do your best to avoid making evaluative or general statements. So avoid beginnings to paragraphs that start with things like, "Throughout time, man has always loved a good poem," or "William Wordsworth is a great writer." These are both very broad and general statements that aren't going to fit this paragraph. But there should be no question what you're writing about. And at the same time, there should be a tiny bit of wiggle room, since your second sentence needs to begin with the word yet, but, or although. In this sentence, introduce something specific about the text that you want to examine through a close reading. In sentence 3, present the word, line, phrase, or sentence for close reading. Start the sentence by introducing the quote, quote it, and then finish the sentence. Tell us what key words we should be looking at in that word or line, phrase, or sentence. You'll likely want to re-quote the key words to point to them more specifically so that your reader focuses their attention and follows your meaning. Keep one thing in mind here. Readers are dumb, and you think they're following you, but they're really not. So re-quoting those key words really helps to direct your reader's attention to the specific words and lines you're interested in. In sentence 5, tell us what you think the correct reading is. Make a case for why your reading is right. In sentence 6, suggest what we stand to gain by viewing it from your vantage point. Does the text change? What is surprising about what you've noticed? Now, there are several potential pitfalls in close reading. Here are 3 that I want you to make sure to avoid. Avoid overly general statements. This isn't for a plaque in a museum. So big sweeping generalizations about all mankind, all poets, or all of Britain, those wind up being quite out of place too. The beauty of close reading is that it's about minutia, finding meaning in something as small as a word, a line, or a sentence. So do everything that you can to avoid that tendency to begin the paragraph with a general wind-up sentence. Just skip it. Jump right in. You don't need it, I promise. Next, you'll want to make sure to beware of vague language. In trying to point out why a line or a word is interesting, it's easy to fall into the trap of saying, "This word is interesting," because that's your excitement. But if you think about it, that statement has no meaning. Interesting is a vague word. So is closer, as in, if we look closer at this word, we'll see what the poet is arguing. The problem with closer is that it doesn't mean anything. Are we literally supposed to move the paper closer to our faces? The solution to this problem is to avoid talking about what you're going to say. Just say it. Finally, in trying to describe to your reader what you want them to see in a poem, there's a tendency to use the mysterious one instead of the first person I. We have been in high school so conditioned away from using the first person that we are now gun shy. Let me be more direct about this. I was conditioned away in high school from using the first person. I was told that it was too informal, and it was a lie. Pick up any editorial column in a newspaper, any academic essay published in a journal, any piece of writing in which the author is espousing their view. You would be hard pressed to find a complete lack of the first person. Most essays use it, though the best essays use it carefully and sparingly. Above all, avoid the mysterious one, as in one might argue, or one can see. Who is one? I'd like to meet him. So I promised that for this close reading assignment, I would throw in a twist. Here it is. For this assignment, you will perform your close readings using the Oxford English Dictionary, which is available online via the Penn Library website. The OED is one of the literature scholar's best tools and is the only dictionary acceptable to cite in a piece of formal writing. It was compiled by a team of readers whose task it was to create a written history of words and their usages. To get to the OED from the library's homepage, visit www.library.upenn.edu, type in OED into the search bar on the front page. You may need your pen key to gain access. As you complete your assignment, choose the word or the line where you would like to understand more closely what the author is saying. Look up that word or a few keywords from the line and use the definition of those words to help you produce a more informed interpretation of that line. When you've completed your assignment, submit it via the digital Dropbox on the course website. This assignment is due before our next class. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. I am totally available all the time at any hour. So don't be shy. Bye.